are live again.
Hi guys, happy Sunday.
Cheers.
To our Coke.
To our Coke, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm so happy that we are back here. So this is like Sunday. We went to all the activities list and then I said, let's just do podcast.
Yeah, we had a long day actually.
It's good. You can tell like we haven't even like get changed yet because I want you guys know that we can dress moderate as well, right? And usually
Yeah,
Eric.
I can put on a suit too.
Yeah, but this is like really nice. I like it though. This is cool. And explain what is your theme today?
My theme is
Yeah.
blue and black.
Okay, but like.
There's my theme. It's not that complicated.
So we just got back from the Indian embassy, so we really need to show ourselves to them that we can actually be serious.
Yeah, it was really good. We had like a preview screening of an upcoming movie,
Yeah.
which was really interesting, based off a real story. And the interesting thing is, a lot of the people that were working on the movie actually went through those experiences. So it was like a bomb that went off in a particular area in India. So this is not like Bollywood. Like Bollywood is one section of India. This is like, what is it, Obiva or something like that? I think that was the area. So it's another territory of India that there's never traditionally had a film industry, but is now trying to have its own film industry. So this is kind of like their big launch, and they got some good actors.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, I was really impressed with the cinematography.
Yeah, the
Like,
cinematography is really good.
I was like, far out. They really
For
did a good
us,
job.
it's because like we make content, right?
Yeah.
So the story is there because that's based on true story, right? They
Yeah.
cannot like expanding it, but like the way they shoot the angle and then like just bam different frame and then the color.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
and
lot
the
of
way
things.
they shoot.
Yeah, I mean, the color grading was really impressive. And there's things that I noticed that were just really impressive in terms of the film shooting. Like,
Yeah.
I noticed there was a lot of scenes in the car. So there was a lot of like moving around cities and whatnot, and they were in the car and having dialogue and whatnot. And the one thing that I found really cool was like, it wasn't like a car on the back of a truck that
Yeah.
they normally do. They were actually driving, but the footage was so stabilized and you couldn't tell like that. Yeah, I don't know. If like for somebody that tries to get like footage while walking and things like that, I know how difficult it is. So to me, that
They
was
have
like,
the greatest stabilizer ever.
I don't know what it was. They would have had to, because I know how to mount, like I was actually looking at it saying, how can we do car
Yeah.
stuff? It's like they actually mount stuff between the windows and then have like a rig, like a
Okay.
bar that, it's like, it's interesting. So I'm like, how did they get it so stable? I was looking at it going, because it wasn't a green screen. Like sometimes they'll put a car in front of a green screen and they'll just run it in the background.
Yeah.
But the chroma keying is really, well, it's not super obvious, but you can tell if you're really looking for it. Because I was looking for it, I'm like, no, they were actually driving the car. So I'm like, fuck, they would have had and it didn't even look like a wide angle lens, so they would have had to run like an 8K camera or something like that, and then crop it, 8K camera with a super wide angle lens, and then crop it down to get it to work. And I was like, damn, that's fucking like,
Yeah.
look, it's nerdery
No,
that
but
only
like-
I like, so.
Yeah, but the cute thing is like we seeing the technical way more like
Yeah.
the story itself, right?
Well, the story was interesting.
Yeah.
And it was so funny when, because it was interesting. We went to Dragonfly last night.
But what's Dragonfly?
Dragonfly is this nightclub in Indonesia, because Indonesia's super poor and we do not have nightclubs with dancers and crazy moving ceiling and lights and.
Have you never been to Malio before? It's all dancer. No
But
clothes.
that's a different kind of club. But like that's one of the things that was interesting. So we actually met one of the producers and a few of like an actor and a few of the representatives of the embassy there last night as well.
Yeah.
Kind of by accident. Like they asked us where we were going, so we said we'll go here and we'll meet. And that was quite interesting, because they're like, oh yeah, so I'm the actor that plays the bad guy and blah blah blah. So we got to know him. we're like, okay, cool. And then when we're watching the movie, I'm like, who's that? Like,
Yeah,
so
like-
didn't look like him.
Yeah, I
There's
know.
like so much makeup and everything
But
to make
like
him.
at least I told him directly, you are so much better in real life.
Yeah, like he's a good-looking guy, you know. Like for
Yeah.
you know.
Maybe like next time, guys, if you want to produce a movie or something, you really need to ask the cameraman from Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Because like all the camera makes them like look so smooth and sparkly, you know, like there's like a lights outside his like their faces. So but this is like a criminal movie anyway, so they
Yeah,
make
it's
it
like
look
it's like a. I wouldn't call it like a Sherlock Holmes style, but it's kind of got that vibe. It's very much a detective movie, you know. It's a really detective movie, but you know, in Indian film style, it's Indian films, at least from my experience, have their own pacing. So it's a little long. It's a little over 2 hours. So if you check it out, it's called Mind Games actually.
Mind Game.
So Mind Game, sorry. So yeah, if you end up checking it out, it's going to be released
They're
in
not out
December.
yet, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be released in December. We only saw a preview, so.
Yeah. But by the way, if I could be honest, that movie was so much better than Climax.
Oh fuck, that was terrible.
I know,
I
right?
broke it. That was climax.
So by the way, guys, okay, so we have a topic today, but like let me talk about movie first, right? So we went to our friend's place. Their name is Hilda and Sean, and then my very best friend Shady says like, "Oh my God, we have to watch this movie. This is really nice." And then it won award in Festival Films Cannes. So I was like, "Believe it? Okay, let's put it on." And then after that, so we watched that, and then like an hour later, we're like, can we just go home?
Like nothing happened for like, I don't know how long this movie was, but nothing happened. Basically, somebody put something in the punch and everyone like lost their minds and some people died, and that's the story. Like it's actually not that interesting at all. Like this was actually an interesting movie. And like I said, it was quite interesting when people after the preview that people got up and were talking about and like, yeah, actually, like remember the lady? She was like, yeah, the guy that
Who's the lady? Which one?
the one that was giving the speech, the MC.
Oh,
She was saying the bad guy was actually her professor in school in that region, and to to spoilers, whatever. I mean,
yeah.
you know, but he actually blew somebody up with a mail bomb.
Life lesson, guys.
Yeah.
Never underestimate anyone. Never look down anyone else, because you never really know what they actually capable of doing.
Yeah.
Right?
But yeah, good overall.
You
like
really have to be kind to everyone, because you never know, in one day you're gonna need their favor, and yeah, just never underestimate everyone.
Yeah.
That's it.
Anyway, so hello everyone. Welcome to your podcast, not
My
mine.
podcast, yeah. But like, hey, if I have like a handsome guy next to me, why I have to be alone, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
So, darling, tell me why we are here. Tell me what you want to talk about, or if it's a little bit more freeform than.
Well,
than
this
normal.
is about like a free form, but like I wanna talk about the culture shock in here versus there where you live.
Okay, where is here
Here in Indonesia,
and where is there?
third world country. Whereas there is like in okay, Western versus Asia, I guess.
All right, cool.
Because like this is like a stereotype in general, right?
Okay, so you're saying here is Indonesia, there is any indiscriminate Western country.
Places like in Asia then, but like more Southeast Asia.
All right, ask away.
Okay, so we live in Indonesia where I'm quite very happy to be here, right? There are like so much more that I can complain about this country, but after all, I don't want any other way.
Yeah.
And when
be
you
back.
first time,
Yeah, keep talking. I can hear you. I have ears. I can hear.
okay. So when the first time you came here, I actually want to ask him, but he's gone. So yeah, like I would like to ask about what is your biggest culture shock here, and what you think what Indonesia can do better for
A lot, but
your point of view, your perspective about what Indonesia could do better.
well, I think I'm the wrong person to ask. If I'm totally honest, I think I am the wrong person to ask. Like, if you want to talk about, you know, if there was somebody we should ask, it should be somebody like Tammy, for instance, because she hasn't spent a lot of time in Asia, right?
But you can also tell what is your bigger culture shock when you just found out.
Well, you want to know what the biggest culture shock for me was when I first came here?
Yeah.
By the way, when I first came here was not when I first moved here.
Yeah, no.
So the biggest culture shock for me was that there was a culture here.
The culture here.
There is culture here.
There is, yeah, there is. We have like so many cultures.
Do you want to know why that's a culture shock to me?
Yeah.
Because I come from a country where there is no culture.
Shame on you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's why I left. So, for people that don't know me, my professional journey started at 19, right? So I was working in corporate since I was 19. I cut my teeth in marketing for about 3.5 years. And then I changed jobs and I ended up in my particular industry. And from there, it was basically every month I was in a different country.
Mm-hmm.
Up until I was about 29, where I got put in charge, 28? No, 28. When I got put in charge of a company and I had to stay put for a little bit. And then, I was there for a little bit. And then at 30, I was here. I moved here when I was 30. And then, so that's my journey. So, but most of my travel was through Southeast Asia.
Mm.
And the one thing I learned, and the first place I actually went to was Indonesia when I first started traveling.
How is it?
Amazing. The people I met there I still know now, and I still work with them.
Who?
I'm not saying on here. I can't.
Okay, no, okay.
But they're people that I still work with. They're still good customers of mine. I don't see them as often as I'd like, but the relationships I made. How old am I? I'm 35, so I would have been 22 then. So 13 years ago, those relationships still exist. And, I'm still doing business with those people now. But yeah, so I came here and it was just like, oh, you're going, the first thing, as I started this job, hey, you need some training quick. We got people in Indonesia, so we're going to send you over. Cool. Got on a plane, landed in Jakarta, did a lot of work, got fucking blind, drunk.
Where?
Club 34. That was the first.
Baby is 36.
36, sorry.
Guys, he's so bad at remembering names. I'm sure that since we met for several months, he doesn't even know my name. Right?
Hey, you wouldn't be the first girl.
It's like Pussy 37-6 or something. More
normally. But no, really, Club 36 was the first place I went to, apart from some local resto, right? And it was interesting. The very first experience is, I don't know if, and since I've moved here, I've never heard this again.
Mm.
But it was I was with a particular doctor, and he says, okay, in Indonesia we have this ritual to prove that you're a man.
How?
So you get a snake.
Yeah.
And vodka.
Yeah, like snake.
A live snake. They kill it in front of you, and they put the heart in the vodka with the blood, and you take a shot.
I never heard that. That's kind of like different cult.
I was 22. I didn't know. I'm just like, all right. Away I went.
You did?
Yeah. So, and then we were just drinking snake blood vodka for the rest of the night before we went to Club 36.
What kind of snake?
I don't know. Some snake.
For real?
Yeah, they kill it in front of you.
I know him for years. I didn't even know this story, guys. So
We learn something new every day.
come to the perfume.
So that was, so apart from the professional component, that was That was my first experience with Indonesia. Right?
Drinking blood snake.
Snake blood vodka.
Yeah. Whatever the doctor, I think you kind of like, not the doctor at all.
Oh, he is. He's very good too. You'll meet him. I'll introduce him to you.
Okay, so you're man enough now.
I know. Am I?
Sometimes.
But yeah, so that was actually my first experience. So after that, I went to Bangkok, and I was a little bit more settled in my role.
I don't want to hear what you did in Bangkok.
So many things. So many things. No, but really, and it was a fantastic time, and and I remember it was actually when the Deftones album, if for any of the music fans out there know Deftones, the Deftones album Koino Yokan came out, and I loved it. I had it on repeat over and over, and that's all I was listening to. It's like the theme tune to, the theme track to that trip. But that was the first time in my head, and it was the same year, right? I joined in April of that year, 2012. So, and then I think October I was already in Bangkok again. So that was, when I first really started traveling out. And what I ended up finding, I remember walking from the hotel in from Tonglo to some restaurant, and they said, "Oh, it's close enough, we can walk." So we walked, and everyone walked slow because I was young, so I walked fast, and I still walk fast. And I'm listening to music, and I'm just like, why do I live in Australia? That's how long ago I said to myself, I need to get out of this country.
Like, I am so grateful because somebody had to say it. Because like mostly of my friends, not my friends, like maybe like Indonesian people, like why I should stay in Indonesia if I can live abroad. They're like different way around. I'm sure they have their own reasons to say that, right?
Yeah.
Because maybe like for me as a citizen, we are like of this and this and this and this, but like after all, if you compare to everywhere, it's so much better to do business here. They have like so many, even though like, well, yeah, you have to pay tax for sure, but you have no idea how big it is, the tax and living costs outside as well, right?
It's not just that.
You can have so much opportunity here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reality is there's a lot of opportunity, and I don't mean to be disrespectful or anything, but I think what I've helped you do is exposed you to the wider world of Indonesia, because I look here and go, I don't want to leave. At least at the bare minimum, I don't want to leave Asia, right?
Yeah.
I look at Asia and go, there's so much possibility here. And what I've helped you do, at least from my perspective, is be able to give you examples of where there actually is opportunity here. And when I say opportunity, I don't just mean a 9-to-5 job. I mean the ability to be entrepreneurial and set up quite a lucrative enterprise in areas. And guys, I'm not going to reveal anything because these are our secrets and our business plans. But hey, Ami, how are you? Thank you for the chat.
Hi guys too, I guess.
But yeah, the reality is if you... Okay, this is something I've told you. You are the sum of the 5 people... You are the average of the 5 people you spend around your time with. Most of your time with, right?
Yeah.
So don't hang around with losers. So hang around people that are ambitious, know things, and you're going to wake up one day and go, I know a lot about this and that, and something's going to click, and you're going to find opportunities. And these opportunities are going to, you may not be a millionaire, but you'll be more comfortable than selling your time like you are now, as opposed to selling your service. Because, right now most people sell their time for a salary, right? Mm-hmm. But you can sell a service for the same amount of money that you would sell your time to, but it's less time and you would still have a better life. So, and some of these things may not be that interesting either. you know, people get rich from boring things. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. Like, you know, there's people like there's just have a look at what people got rich in China for.
Curtain.
Yeah, I mean, there's a quite a huge, or quite a wealthy man. I can't remember his name now, but he got very rich in China from selling doors, because there's huge infrastructure. Well, not infrastructure, residential projects in China, and the big thing he said is, all these buildings, they need doors. Who's going to sell them the doors? I'm going to sell them the doors. So that was how this gentleman got rich, and you know, so you will find your opportunity, but like I said, don't waste your time. Doesn't mean disrespect people that are around you, but don't waste your time with losers. I'm sorry.
No, I think like you didn't mean to say that.
I don't mean it in a rude way.
He
but
said
like,
what we're trying to do is your circle actually define you, and then you know, you be struggling every day to reach whatever your goal is, and then another time for like hanging out with friends, you tend to invest your time to actually, okay, this is worth it or not. Otherwise, I just want to take some rest.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, that's the truth. I mean, like I said, you know, surround yourself with people that have a mindset for success, and that's going to vary from person to person. But don't surround yourself with people that are negative and don't think about the future in a beneficial way. When I say future, I genuinely mean, you know, it comes down to, you know, how financially secure you want to be. And a lot of people just want to get drunk and pose on Instagram.
We do, but okay, this is the thing. Maybe people think that all I can do is just like getting drunk and then like flashing money. But actually, there is so much thing that I don't post, because sometimes not everything has to be posted.
No, I mean, look, it's you're right, and I mean, you might find a change in the content moving forward, but the reality is, like, it may not make sense to a lot of people watching right now. Well, watching that are in Indonesia, but the reality is, most business internationally gets done in the bar. You meet the right person, or you have a few drinks with the right person, you get a bit loose, the ideas start flowing, you think of something, you agree on it, you do you know, maths on the back of a napkin, which I have done in bars before. And
whose number?
no, like maths, business, like maths on the back of a napkin, and you just go, yeah, it makes sense. Let's move forward. So these are things that genuinely happen. So you may see, at least your profile, because I don't have one, that looks like, oh, we're living some crazy lifestyle. But no, the reality is, you know, real shit is happening in those bars. And you wake up the next morning and you start working on, you know, these goals. Because when you're in like a bar, for instance, there's no barriers. There really isn't any barriers. You really overcome them quite quickly.
We're trying to say is networking. It could be anywhere. Business it doesn't mean that we have to sit in the building room and then be very conservative and then have to talk like a sugarcoating so much in the building room.
Meetings are normally bullshit at 9 to 5. They really are. They sit there and it's like, say the right thing. You go out, have dinner, get drunk. That's where business really happens. I'm sorry. During the day is when staff do
the technical
things. Work, you know? Because ultimately, your job as a leader is go, this is the vision, and you work backwards from that, and then you delegate out. And sometimes you're in a position where you can't delegate, and most of you would be the same. Where you go, I have to do it myself, but that's okay, grind. You remember in the last podcast, I said, if you're a 20-something, spend your ass working, especially the guys. work hard, because you know, I guarantee you a lot of the young guys that go to the club, they look at people like me and whatnot, and they go, oh, look at this guy, the girls like them, and they have bottles and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, yeah, I worked 7 days a week.
We were
grinding. Grinding.
When you still, no, in school.
When you're still a fetus. So that...
You're not that old.
No, I know, but like, that's to simplify it, that's the message, man. Like, just work hard. Or the other thing as well is like, like I said, be around people that work hard. It might be.
It's just changing your mindset. Yeah. Indirectly. You be more like push. Oh yeah, it's because like my best friend is actually like achieve so much things. If she or he can do it, why I cannot do it? But like if you be best friend with somebody just like laying by the bed and then just watching Netflix. And then you're gonna be thinking like, oh yeah, my best friend is just like watching Netflix all day. Yeah. Why would I get up and work my ass off if my best friend living like that?
Yeah.
You know, so surround yourself with a good people, like have a very good mindset. So you're gonna change indirectly, moving forward in a good way.
That's exactly it. Like that's what you want. You did. I know it seems like what you don't want to hear, but the reality is like if you surround yourself, and it could even be in a professional environment, like, you know, you got to earn some money to make some money, right? That's just the reality. So be around people that are going to motivate you. Don't be around narcissists. Be around people that are going to motivate you. And like I said as well, you know, the original question is the culture shock. It's not so much that there's a culture shock. I was very much decided on Southeast Asia very young, and I worked to get out of Australia, be secure enough to be able to relocate and build something for myself here. And you know, I'm never going to stop because I don't want to leave. That's kind of the message, you know. So if we're going back to your original question of what's the culture shock, I'm like, the shock is that there is a culture here, but not because, oh, I've never experienced or saw the culture, but it's because I come from a country where there is no culture, where people are quite nasty, and the society is very boring because governments are geared towards, like, just making people go to work and go home, and that's it. That's because there's nothing to do. There really isn't. So, you know, these are just, at least for me, long, you know, we spent about half an hour talking about this, but that's really the culture shock that I mentioned, you know.
So let's talk the fun way.
All right, the fun way.
Way. That was the culture shock when you do business here and then working here, right? What is your dating culture shock? Or me too, that.
Be more specific. Be more specific, you know.
I was with local guys, right?
Yeah.
And then I go through like this. I am not talking about they're like all the same.
Yeah.
But most of them like that. Then I try dating another guy from another culture.
Yeah.
And then like so much different.
Yeah.
So we start talking from you first.
Yeah.
You've never been dating an Asian before.
Mm-hmm.
So what makes it different?
Well, I found, here's the difference. Like in Australia, like this is something we spoke about not so long ago, but when I was old enough that I had a bit of money that I could start going out again, that I could start going out and meeting people, the thing I found is what was in vogue in Australia at the time is females turning guys down. So, and you know who I'm talking about who said this. One of my friends was like, I don't understand, why do these like really average girls, they get these gorgeous men approaching them and they just turn them down?
Maybe she's a lesbian?
No, it was just like this weird thing that became fashionable to turn people down. And I'm like, wow, that's weird. But when I came to Indonesia, the big thing that I found is I started going out a little bit. I wasn't going out that much before I met you. But when I started going out here, I found it was quite amazing that people would come up to you and talk to you. People would be really social. You know, and I don't mean like for nefarious reasons, like for trying to get you in bed or anything, but like they would just want to talk to you and hang out and have a good night, and that's it. Like there was nothing else to be said. And to me, I just went, wow, it's so social. And I thought, I genuinely thought, oh, is there something wrong with me? Like in Australia, I'm like, is there something wrong with me that I can't just casually meet people? And then I came here and I'm like, no, there's something wrong with the brains of those people over there. And it's true. And it's not, and to hammer the point in, it's not just, you know, Indonesia is different. It's, like I said, I was in a country every 2 weeks. I was on a plane and I was somewhere else.
Yeah.
Every country I went to was like that. Hey, how are you? Who are you? Blah, blah, blah. Let's talk, blah, blah, blah. An hour in, you guys, you're drunk, you're dancing, you're having fun. Eventually you go home and you wake up and you just think, geez, that was a fun night. And I'm like, no, the problem is Australia. The people are awful.
You should not supposed to say the country.
People know I'm Australian. Like,
Okay, so, hi Anggi, Nur, hello.
if you have a question, just ask away. You know, we're just talking for the sake of talking, but if you guys want to know anything, ask a question and we'll answer it. Or she will, because you're here for her, not me.
Yeah. Kalau kalian punya pertanyaan, diketik aja. Nanti aku akan jawab di sini karena aku lagi ngobrol sama dia. So, I cannot really speak bahasa, but I think all my followers already like fluent English, I hope. So, send love and ask me things. So, yeah, my culture shock is actually, do we really have to go down this path?
It was your question. You can choose whether or not you want to talk about it or not.
True that. I found it like really hard to be in relationship with local guys, not because I don't like them. Like I genuinely think there are so many local men are great. But once you be in relationship with them, you also be in relationship with the entire family. I came with a very rough past, let's say, right? I have a baggage. I have a son, and every time I have a relationship with the local men, they're really great, but I don't think all their moms ever accept me the way I am. All those mothers look me down and then thinking like, you are, you know, somebody has kids already, like why you better even like going to my son? And I was like, I don't want to live like this. I'd rather be single rather than, you know, like thinking, am I like my life is already rough. Why I want to put ourselves in this kind of situation where my boyfriend's mom cannot even see me in the best way. So I'm like, okay, why would I stay? So I broke up with him, and then I started dating a guy from another country. So we done like few months, and then like we finally talking to the parent, and then they seems don't give a fuck at all.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why I really like open-minded culture, because they don't really judge people from their past, right?
I mean, the past matters, but
and
like...
then also I'm a free bird, basically. I don't need a man who is possessive, asking me like where I am, who the fuck I'm with, when you go home. You cannot have Facebook, you cannot have Instagram, you cannot wear this, you cannot wear that, you always have to be like this with me, text me in like 1 minute and blah 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 blah. So I'm like, when I'm with you,
if you know, you know.
When I'm with you, it's like, this is like so shocking. Oh my god. This guy, by the way, never asked me what time you want to go home. He just says, okay baby, go out, have fun, make some content or whatever. And when we talk to your parent about my kid, and then they be like, we have grandson already.
Yeah.
It's so cute. And I was like, oh my god, like my heart really melt. because life outside there is so much better. I mean, like with the people with like open-minded. So I'm like, I really like it. I don't want to other way. So lesson for you guys: never settle down if you think this is not what you deserve. It's really matter.
You got a question here from Angi.
There is question first. When you guys getting married, when we have enough sponsorship?
What?
Because I want like big wedding.
Oh, right, okay.
When you know, you know.
Yeah.
Kak, kapan buat konten with Sultan? Looks fun kayaknya, Kak. Do you want? Okay, can you get him?
No, we leave him out of it for now.
Okay.
People don't need to see that.
Okay.
But Sultan is here this weekend.
Sultan is here. He's just like next to the bedroom. He is growing up so fast.
He's tall.
He's very
He's
tall.
tall. He got really tall all of a sudden.
He doesn't really want to hang out with us anymore because he always play with friends, mobile, online. And
Oh my god, we have the first spam. My hot photo here from 69xxx.life.
so guys, if you think that you have a hot pictures, you can share me. I can show you hotter pictures. Our hot pictures. So yeah, I really hope that untuk konten sama Sultan, maybe we can make something fast with him, like the content.
Yeah, we can put something together later.
It'll
be a
like
video, it won't be a live thing though.
Yeah, we can do like a truth or drink.
Maybe not.
I know, I'm kidding. Yeah, that was my culture shock, but can I do something else?
Yeah, of course you can, bro. I mean, hey, we have the F1 to watch, so we have a hard deadline.
Oh shit, like in 15 minutes, okay.
Is it?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, it is. Shit, okay.
Okay, so next topic, I really want to like talk about business here.
Okay.
Right? So by the way, guys, if you don't know me, I am actually working in a manufacturing company that we can make hospital and laboratorium equipment, which is kind of aligned with him. He works in healthcare, by the way. So in Indonesia, when you want to upload your stuff to be purchased by the government departments, let's say, yeah, you have to go through. There is things called TKDN. What do you think about that?
I think it's stupid. Actually, I don't think it's stupid. I think, a country to favor local manufacturing over imported goods is a good thing, as far as like countries are concerned. The problem I have with TKDN, the problem I have with it is it's been grossly misunderstood.
Yeah.
So with TKDN, it's to put it simply, it's about how much of your product is manufactured locally. And the thing with that, it works in some areas. So in Indonesia, if you work with a public company, by public I mean government owned or controlled, you are, sorry guys, too much Coke. You essentially have to go through one purchasing portal, and they want to distinguish what is a locally manufactured product and an imported product. Now, the notion started because the president, or the current president, made a point saying, why can we not manufacture our own shovels? Why are we importing shovels, basically?
Yeah.
So it's like really basic commoditized stuff. But it's kind of been pushed throughout the entire public procurement sector And unfortunately, what that means is there's some areas which are badly impacted by this, right? So if I talk...
suburbs.
Sorry?
Like which area?
Well, let's talk about areas we know. Healthcare. So in medical technologies, right? Medical technologies are... Well, most companies will manufacture medical technologies out of one factory, and they can adequately supply the entire world, right? So if you're making X-ray equipment, you will have one factory that makes your X-ray device, whatever that kind of X-ray device that happens to be. And in Indonesia, they're pushing, oh no, everything has to be locally manufactured. Right to the point where there's disagreement between departments where they're saying, oh, to what level? Can I import the parts and assemble them here? Or can I, and that classes I locally manufactured it? Or is it to raw material level? And some people that have got no idea about business even go right down to raw material. And talking about at least your experience, I won't talk too much about mine because I don't really need people to know who I work for, but
in general,
the raw materials, because people know this, and I'm sorry, when we're talking about, if we want to go back to culture, this is one of the things here. People that know that, by law you have to purchase from me, then they will just increase the cost so much that it becomes non-feasible to manufacture things locally if it's decreed that it has to be done at a raw material level.
Okay.
And that's kind of like you've created a new problem. So like if we're talking about making shovels, sure, but if you're talking about making an MRI machine, then you're completely screwed, because I don't sell MRIs, but they're upwards of $2-3 million, $5 million each.
Yeah.
So you're basically tripling that cost. So you're going from 5 million to 15 million.
Yeah.
And in an emerging economy like Indonesia, the healthcare quality is just going to go in the toilet.
Yeah.
And because it's such a political issue right now, because people are getting ready for
recession.
Well, not recession. People are getting ready for an election.
Okay.
The people currently in power are like, we don't care. This is the rule. And what you have is the good citizen mentality, which is not going to get anybody anywhere in any country, thinking that I just have to follow what the government says. And what that does is you've just set yourself, well, at least in this industry, they've just set it back another 5 to 10 years because you're now in a position where you're not allowed to buy imported products, and even if you could get it manufactured here, you have to pay 3 times more as more.
Oh, sorry,
so
baby. This is like, I'm not interrupting you, but somebody asking, like, why are we talking about politics? Let's talk about surgery and lifestyle. Nevertheless, you know that this is very matching with what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because, like, hey guys, do you think like my boobs is not from another country? I have to import this, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And then in the order I have to import this, we have to pay more and then probably get taxed more. So in order to fulfill my next surgery and my lifestyle, we try to tell to everyone here, next time we just want to do in a wise way. Why are we spending money to actually getting taxed very badly, and then
It's not even a tax thing. It's just going to outlaw anything that isn't locally made. And like I said, I can understand it is a noble thing to say, bring jobs back into Indonesia or manufacturing or whatever. But you also have a government that's saying that we're outlawing the export of natural materials, like raw materials outside of Indonesia. And it's like, how does that make sense? It's like you don't have an industry that can use it, like lithium, for instance. And, I was watching that G20 or B20 conference with that Bakri guy and Elon Musk. And he's trying to convince him to invest into Indonesia because they have huge lithium deposits in Sumatra. And I seriously don't understand, because it's like Well, a couple of days ago, they just outlawed the export of nickel, and they're literally talking about outlawing the export of lithium. So they're trying to encourage Tesla to invest into Indonesia, but then they can't export the product anyway. So what's the point? And I'm sure I'm missing something here, but that's the message I get from all the media and all the economic, and I'm part of many chambers of commerce here and many industry organizations. I go, the country is not making sense right now. And whoever's responsible for investment, we all know who that is doing something to benefit themselves and not the country, as far as I can tell. Because why would you be limiting the export of raw materials, which people need? And the closest neighbor, economic neighbor, is Australia, and most of their economy is made up of mineral exports.
Yeah.
And instead of going, oh, that's a good idea, we could get some GDP from this, they're reducing the exports. Like, it literally makes no sense to me.
Okay, somebody really want me to have bigger butt. That's on the budget list. Don't worry about it. But if you want to help...
But guess what? It's not being done in Indonesia. I'm sorry. It's not possible.
Don't reveal that yet. So I want a bigger butt. I want a bigger boobs. I want a bigger lips. I want to like change everything. But probably the best will not going to be in Indonesia either. Like, although I really like one doctor here.
Unless it can be done, then it's like the options are not available here. It's just simple as that.
Yeah.
And this just comes down from the regulations. It's like people like her aesthetics, and she's not shy to be showing it off, to put it simply, showing it off and putting things out there. But the reality is it can't be done here at this stage.
I have special request, guys, that I want to put the implant in the part that my doctor says that this is too dangerous and blah blah blah. But like, we research in another countries, and they did a great job. So this is for once and for my lifetime. So I just don't want it fail. Even though like my boobs is not fail, I really like it, the result. And once you done it, you feel like, oh, you know what, I can go bigger. Yeah, but at this stage,
where's the surgery? Can't reveal that.
Where is the surgery? Not in Asia. I'm not doing Bangkok cheap shit. I'm sorry, babe.
No, they do a good job. They genuinely, there's some good doctors there.
No, I'm gonna contact the most famous doctor in the world. If you know, you know. I've been following him, so you can see on my following list. I hope if I can get the surgery line waiting list.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
sure
a long
it's like
waiting
so
list.
busy. So we're gonna digging some money first, because like it costs fortune. And yeah, let's see. But we're talking about business here. Like, why do you want to know my butt? Is my butt not big enough now? Come on.
All right, guys. I don't know. Do you wanna keep going, or you wanna call it there?
We need to call it there, because like, by the way, my kid tomorrow have exam, so I need to put him to bed. And thank you so much, guys, for listening to our podcast this time. Is it podcast or stream live, or is it the same?
The same thing.
Right? And then next topic, we will think about more fun.
Yeah, more fun. But if you've got suggestions for guests as well, we will reach out to them and we'll see if we can bring them on board. If there's guests here, then I won't be on camera. I'll be pushing buttons and things like that. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I think the thing that I'm really happy about is thanks for engaging with us. It costs nothing common. you're gonna have to be a bit more specific. I don't really understand the question.
It costs
But-
nothing. It costs something, bro.
Yeah, but yeah, thanks for engaging with us. We really appreciate it. You know, we'll be at least you'll be back next week. You can tell us all about your trip to Bandung.
Well, I will not gonna be in Jakarta for the entire week, and then I'm gonna stuck with my colleague. Not my favorite colleague, but you know, like work is work. So I managed to sit far away from her. Anyway, guys, peace out.
Peace
Love
out.
everyone.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for engaging. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and she will be back next week. Ciao. Biggest in the world. Coming up. You have my word. Promise. See you guys. Hi.